Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place to find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday, and you know on Friday, that's when we talk tech in English. I'm here with my partner and friend, Ms. Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. We want you to sit back, relax, join the conversation, and find out some wonderful things that are happening in tech. So we want to get this party started. How you doing this morning, Fran?
I'm well. Welcome to everybody live and on the replay. We just want to say thank you for tuning in. You got questions, let us know. If you got some new tech that you found out that works for you, let us know that too, because that is what we are interested in. We want to know all things tech. This is not like tech to run the planet. We're talking tech for your everyday lives, phones. I was just thinking about it this morning. Man, I use my iPad for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And things that make my life more convenient and how to use those items more efficiently. That's what we're all about. Oh, wait, because we want to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Well, you can't take the hassle out of the hustle if the tools are a hassle to use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're talking about today in tech. So welcome to the party. We will be joined by TJ and Dr. Tachi a little bit later on, but you are here now. So let's get started. And the first thing that we have up is This Week in Tech History. And I love history. It's going to be interesting when we talk about history for 2021.
Very yes.
But in the world of tech history, the first public radio performance was done January 13th, 1910. And it takes place, a live performance of the opera Cavalleria Rusticana is sent out over the airwaves from the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
That has been around for a very long time. So that's the first one. Then Friday the 13th virus gets Brits. The Friday the 13th virus strikes hundreds of IBM computers in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the most famous early examples of a computer virus making headlines over 20 years later. While other companies have systems that are practically immune to viruses, Microsoft still hasn't been able to develop a solution to prevent viruses from infecting their systems. And we talked about that before because Microsoft is building software for multiple computers, not just, you know what I mean? Their operating system has got to be configured so that it runs on so many different computers. Hey, Tim Gillette.
Morning, Tim.
Yeah, okay. January 13th, 2000, Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates steps aside as the chief executive and promotes company president Steve Ballmer to the position. Gates would stay on as a chief software architect until June of 2008, before finally giving up the day-to-day responsibilities at Microsoft. Gates is still Microsoft's chairman of the board. And that was in 2000. That was 21 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem that long ago. Okay. January 14th, 1914, the first car to be built on an assembly line was completed today, and it was a Model T Ford.
All right now.
That was smart, putting it on an assembly line, doing the same thing. He had a system.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? Doing the same, wheels. Okay, it's coming down. Everybody's putting this. Your job, you put this on, it moves. This one goes on, it moves. Everybody.
I'm sure that this process was done before then, but it just hadn't been applied to manufacturing. Because in a family, if you have a large family, especially in a farming community, everybody has a job. And that job has pieces, and it progresses, and usually depending on your height.
So that system still works. McDonald's uses the same assembly line system. I was interested in the fact that when you go through Chick-fil-A, the line is like out the thing and around the parking lot, but you get your food relatively quick. I was like, what kind of system they're using to get you your order that fast? I mean, because it's like them and In-N-Out Burger. The line is out the door down the street somewhere, and then how are they making it so that it gets to you that quickly? Because they have a system that works. Do you have a system that works? Okay. Yeah. Last story, Wikipedia goes online. Bookshelves clear up. January 15th, 2001, Wikipedia, a free wiki content encyclopedia, goes online. Door-to-door encyclopedia salespeople mourn while bookshelves everywhere suddenly have more room for other books. Because Wikipedia is kind of like you're looking up you know how you used to go to the encyclopedia to find out how long does the eagle live? Let's go pull that out and go online and go and find that out. But you would go to the ease of the encyclopedia. You remember all them books? Like,
oh yes, we had a set over there.
A to Z and A to Z. Oh my gosh! And how heavy they were. They were printed in color with full.
I remember there was an insert in there of the human body, and you could take the plastic pages and unfold it and take the body apart. And you could, first you had the skin, and you took that off, and then you see the organs, and then you took this organ out and that organ out. And it was just fascinating.
It really was, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and I think that's why it cost so much to have it printed. And now you can go online and type in Wikipedia and kind of look up anything that you want. Now, some of the information in there, they tell you to check it to make
verify.
Sure verify it. So anywho, that was tech for the day.
Wow. That was a good one.
Yeah. So Terry, what do you have going on today?
Well, the consumer
electronic show.
Yes, consumer electronic show. I had several things going on that I'd like to share. And so let me set this up because I think the videos speak louder than than me. So I'm going to set this video up and add this to the stream. Let's see. There it goes. And it's talking about tunable glasses. The fact that you can now change your own prescription. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that is okay. So that would keep you from doing that every 2 to 3 year.
Well, let's watch the video. Here we go.
Let's do this.
Typically at CES, I go out and about looking at some of the weird and wonderful gadgets on show. This year, the weird and the wonderful has been sent to my flat. And here's one of the items. These are Void glasses. They are adjustable glasses, so you can change the prescription just by rolling these little wheels here. So you have both distance vision and reading glasses in one pair, or if your prescription changes, you can adjust them. There is a bit of guesswork involved here because as I turn the wheels, my eyes are already kind of fighting to correct. So even though right now everything does look crystal clear, I can't be exactly sure I've got my prescription bang on. And I'm sure there'll be opticians in the comments to let you know whether walking around with the wrong prescription glasses on is good for you in the long term. The other thing about these is they are obviously quite thick compared to, say, just an ordinary pair of glasses. You can see these are some proper jam jars, as my housemate called them. Very thick lenses. They look a little bit strange. They make me look a lot more short-sighted than I actually am. Now, they do also come in sunglasses, which look much less suspicious because the lenses are tinted. My housemate said these look like 3D glasses you'd get at the cinema. So maybe not the most stylish glasses, but certainly if you need to change your prescription a lot, then you only have to buy the one pair. And for people who are on a really tight budget, that might not be too bad of an idea. Typically at CES, I go out.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That you could.
So
yeah.
So would you? I'm asking the people in the chat. Would you actually use them? I think it would. It's an Uber move for the optometry
industry.
Now, what did the glasses do? Were they
allowed you to adjust your lenses on your own?
Right.
So you can change your prescription.
Oh, so prescription to sunglasses without having two pair, or
no, not sunglasses. You can change the lens on your glasses so that you're not going to the obstetrician.
Oh, okay. Because I just saw the part about the sunglasses. And I was like, okay.
So you get to adjust the
prescription. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do it yourself prescription for your glasses, eyeglasses.
Interesting.
Okay. And Mark, I got jokes already. I want the ability to change my eye color with a dial to match my shirt. You know that ain't a far-fetched thing, right?
You could change it with contacts already, so who knows?
Wow.
The dial. Okay. Anyway.
I know. So that happened. And then I have one more. And that is, let's see here. Let me share this just a minute. Let me go here and share first.
Okay.
Share screen. Oh, let me turn on the sound because that's the worst when you have something showing and you don't have the sound.
Yeah, Jill's comment. Yeah, I was like, that's for people whose prescriptions are like really simple, nothing complicated.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too.
Right.
Okay, so now I think this is it. My pet.
That won't work for me.
Can you guys let's see. Oh, let me put it back. I thought I didn't know whether it was in there or not. Okay, so let me turn on this video and see what you think.
You want to go outside?
You want to go outside?
You want to go outside?
Want to go outside?
Want to go outside? Otis, you want to go outside?
Oh, I thought, yeah.
Of course you do. Need to go? No, I'm good.
My Q Pet Portal is a fully functional door installed by professional technicians. The Bluetooth Pet Portal sensor activates a cleverly hidden smart panel that you can control in manual mode to let your dog out. So they can take care of business and pleasure. In-app activity log lets you see their day from wherever you are, and an optional automatic mode gives you the ability to let them do it all on their own. So they get the freedom to come and go, and you can sit and stay.
Interesting. I like the idea of
$1,000.
how much?
How much?
How much? Seriously, we can hear you.
3,000?
It's $2,300 to $3,000.
That's because of them cutting a hole in your door. That's the problem.
Right.
It's a whole door. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because
okay, so it's not actually cutting a hole in the door. It is it will be
placing the door.
a new door in order.
The doggy, it's a whole new door, or are they cutting a hole in your door for the doggy door? Is it a whole new door?
The whole door, it sounds like.
Okay.
Well, they said that they would have to professionals would install it. I'm like, okay,
Right.
Are you cutting a hole or are you I think it's easier to have the whole door. And Mark has a comment here too. Mark says, I like the concept, but I'm too overly protective of my dog to allow him to be outside without supervision, even if I didn't live in a city.
And when they show the dog outside, they're releasing him into a yard.
Right. So it's a homeowner situation.
Right. And that's
the environment's controlled.
And I kind of like that. I have a different approach to the dog door. I have a little sliding door, right?
Okay.
And so I went to Home Depot, I believe it was, and they had a device where it's like a long vertical. You put it in the door between the slider and the frame, right, of the door. And so now the slider only closes up to this part, but it has a dog door down on the bottom, so the dog can go in and out. And it, how do I put it? It snaps into place.
Okay.
So you can't, it doesn't move for you, and you just got to be a little bit smaller than you were before to go in and out of the door. But it works.
And
it's
not $2,000.
It was like 149 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was, it works. And the only thing I've had to replace is the flap on the flap got worn out. And that was about
the thing I thought was interesting was that the dog has to have a sensor on the collar. Did you see that?
And see,
my Bluetooth.
Yeah, my dog doesn't wear a collar like that. She has
on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
No, she has something called a fur saver because it's so that it doesn't.
Yeah, the neck, because it rubs the fur, the collar rubs the fur away around the neck. Because our cat, that happens to our cat, like where the collar is, it kind of rubs their fur away, and it irritates the pet too.
Right,
it irritates.
It's kind of like wearing a hat all day, and it wears your hair away. And so it's the same principle. And so that whole putting the collar on with that's not going to work for me.
Well, see, and the thing about this I want to mention is the pet industry is in a boom phase.
Yes, they are.
I think we talked about it a few weeks ago about pet industry being one of the things that if you're thinking about a new business or new products or what, look at pet industry. The CEO of Petco was on CNBC. I love to watch that, and he was saying that hold on, I had a figure. Where is it? Oh, he said 3.3 million new pets joined families last year, and he expects the pet boom to continue in the first half of 2021. So, like, the stock is booming for Petco and Chewy, and so if you could think of a product that's going to make your life easier and makes the pet life easier and happier, you're going to be successful at it. So, I see people buying it.
I do too, because there are, some people just want to sit back and push a button to let.
And
you're working from home. If you're working from home,
wherever you are, you know what I mean? If you go out for coffee, the dog, the
dog needs to go.
Right. And I think that they would need to figure out that part of it about the collar. That would be the only thing.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you come up with ideas for to solve problems, because this door solves a problem. It does. Yes, it may be $3,000, but that's based on your target market. There's homeowners with, a large home or disposable income. They're working from home, and this is one thing that they can check off their list.
Right, because it's very convenient. You don't have to get up from your Zoom meeting to let the dog out.
That's right. That's right. Because other people will go, well, why do you need that? But you have to put yourself in the pet owner's shoes. Like I said, working from home. I don't want to have to get up. I'm in a Zoom meeting. It's convenient for me. It's one thing I don't have to worry about. If you could take stuff off of people's list, you're going to have customers for life. So, and also this company, whoever it is, they can grow from this. Like if they make more innovative products for pet owners, it's a big industry.
Right.
So.
And it's like, okay, let's see, a cat doing it. The cat is too personal. They are too. They're not doing all that.
Each cat has a different personality, and you can't predict what they're going to do.
And they would be
You
like,
doing that. Can't corral a cat. They do what they want.
I spend lots of money to have my dog's fresh food delivered. The best for my only child. If it is helpful, I will spend the money. Yes.
They're out of the mouth of the pet owner. There you go.
Yes.
You're
and
not making it up. So
Mark, to go along with that, we found out about the benefits of doing the fresh food for the dog and not the little kibbles and stuff.
Right.
And yes, it's a different investment, but the dog is going to be healthier. You're not going to make that investment at the vet.
Yes, there you go.
And the vet has gotten like, woo, what is the vet is in on the $1 billion industry.
It's it's $1 billion and growing. So
somebody said something about their cat had to go in and it was $4,000. I was like, ooh.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
4Gs.
The vet is no joke.
That's the time you should taking out the pet insurance. Hi Pat, how you doing this morning?
Hey Pat.
Hey, Pat.
So okay, that was good. You got another one, Terry?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to share those two with you. Let's go to social
media. Let me get TJ going with the social media.
Yes, it's time for the social. What happened this week? This week in social media, what happened?
Oh
he who must not be named has been banned everywhere.
Everywhere, girl.
Everywhere.
Yeah, banned everywhere. Hey, where are the ladies? I like to see your faces.
Wait, I'm like,
okay. Yeah, I like to see your. It's just me. Yeah, so I say he who must not be named. You all know the guy. It's been a banner week.
To his children.
Yeah, so he was banned from Twitter permanently. Facebook put him on. He's not permanently banned, but it was Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Shopify. It's a whole list of places he was banned, and so yes, now it says Snapchat. Yeah, a lot of places he's been permanently banned, and just his voice has been silenced, but it's going to be silenced in 5 days anyway. So
hopefully, okay.
But no, it will. He won't be back to.
Oh, you mean back to those platforms?
Mark says, "Dang, yeah." So, and Joe Biden, his account is I think it's activated now, or is going to be activated. I saw a story about it. I didn't really investigate, but I'm going to follow him. So, his presidential account will be activated, and we'll be following his tweets. Which will make sense and be sane from a sane person. So,
right now, it's president-elect. But
right, but I think that I read a story yesterday. I didn't check it out because I had so many things, that his presidential Twitter account has been activated or something. I gotta go get the details, but that will be happening on Twitter. The other person will fade from public obscurity or fade into obscurity, because we will be focusing on the current president's tweets and his social media posts. So we look forward to that. He won't be silenced. He'll be on Newsmax or one of those other places, and he's welcome to go there. And who's going to listen to him? Go over there and listen to him. But what's happening is that it's bringing up some negativity about censorship and people's voices being silenced. But I say this brings you to a point where, if the head person, the number one person in America, is saying things and inciting sedition and insurrection against we the people, why wouldn't you silence that? So we have a lot of people upset about that, but it is what it is. So Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, those are all private corporations. They have terms of service. When you sign up, they say do not do this or that and you'll be banned. So he did this, and this. He tried to co-opt other people's Twitter accounts. They shut those Twitter accounts down. So it was like whack-a-mole. Wherever he went, Twitter shut it down, and then all the others followed. So there you have it. his voice is silent.
Mark has a comment and he says, my favorite of the band, Shopify. What was he going to do there? Working conspiracy theories with the product recommendation.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mark. So let me tell you about Shopify. He has some kind of e-commerce enterprise where they're selling his theme products. So you could go over there and buy, I guess you could buy a Make America Great Again hat and all stuff like that. So they shut it down and you can no longer buy from him. I mean, I don't know if they shut any other people who had
similar
similar stores. I don't know. But this is the discussion of the day. We're going down the rabbit hole of, you have some people saying, well, you banned him. What's to stop you from banning Joe Schmo, who's talking about something going on locally? But we're not going down that rabbit hole. We're talking about banning someone who
incites
violence, who did the most egregious thing against America. That's what we're talking about. They're not going now, let me look at this and this. Now, one thing that will come out of this, I read some stories, is that some of the apps that need moderation and looking more closely at how they handle harassment and bullying, they're going to look more closely at them, which is a good thing. But they're not shutting down anybody's voice. That's been like one of the dissenting arguments, is that, oh, you're shutting down the conservative voice. No, we're shutting down the insurrectionists and the people who start, trying to start a coup.
Yes,
we're shutting other people down.
Dr. Tachi has a comment.
Okay.
Even if the intent was to shut down conservative voices, so it's a private app. They could do whatever the hell they like, and you have nothing to do with it. The First Amendment does not apply in these types of cases. And the interesting thing is that you'll hear sometimes conservative. This is why I don't like to. You think LinkedIn is professional? Read some of the comments, and you'll see how despicable some of these LinkedIn folks are. And so I happened to read something. I don't know why I read the comments, but I just did. And somebody made the comment with the business that he owns all on display, right?
Yeah.
Well, try and not bake a cake for a gay couple and see what happens.
Exactly.
The reverse is not the same. But the thing is, the intent is different. When you do that, they're doing that because you are specifically discriminating because of who they are.
Right.
All are trying to incite hate. There is a difference.
Also, it's a public accommodation. A bakery is a public accommodation business.
Exactly. It's a public business. It's a public accommodation.
Right.
Exactly. And there are some things that, even though it's not free, there are some taxes. I bet you damn good and well that they took some tax breaks, right, for owning a business or whatever. That's public money. It's not free when you get a tax break. Somebody pays for that. So it's us. Let's stop the nonsense.
Storefront, you have to, in America, accommodate everyone. Okay,
reasonable accommodation. Go ahead.
And so it's just like any other lunch counter. Everybody should be able to pony up to the counter. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. I think there's also this thing with harm done. Is there any harm done when that happens? No, and like you said, what the argument is now is that enough was not done on the part of Twitter and Facebook because they continue to give him a platform. So now you have a problem. They gave him exactly, but now you want to have a problem that they are actually trying to prevent more deaths. Now you have a problem. So you can't please everybody, and I don't think they care.
We're not going to please everybody. It's business. They make terms of service when you sign up for these apps. It's not you get on and you get the right to say what you want. There's consequences. So let's move on to Parler because this is a part of it. So Parler.
Go ahead. Mark says, yes, the ban should have happened long ago. Either you have terms of service or you don't. And then Terry has her hand up. Terry.
Yeah, I want to mention before you go to Parler, I want to mention Bumble. Did you see where Bumble had people have, you're allowed to, well, you were allowed to designate your political preference.
Affiliation.
And, yeah, and so a lot of the conservatives, the guys were posting pictures of themselves from having been at the Capitol.
Okay.
You know, and so check this out. So people were connecting with them, taking a screenshot and sending it to the FBI. I just want
yes.
I saw that.
It also shows how stupid they are. They're not very bright. I mean, they're all going to be caught.
Yes, eventually.
Especially if you post your picture and videos of you.
What is it? The FBI, the government always gets their man, or the FBI always gets their man.
That's the mouth. That's help from the criminals this time.
Yes.
Well, we got social media now, so you know, and you
that's helpful.
I'm talking about the criminals themselves help the FBI.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. You're committing a crime and you record yourself in the act of committing a crime and you're proud about it and you leave it on social media. Even if you delete it, they can find it because that's what happened to Parler. So
okay, so let's talk about Parler.
Wait,
Bumble, because I know Parler's going to be
wait. Before we go there, hold on. Mark got another comment. It's always a good strategy to live stream from a crime scene.
Excellent strategy, right?
Basically.
Yeah, you're real smart. Einstein thinking there.
Okay,
all right, so here's the deal with Parler. So Amazon booted right-wing social network Parler from its AWS cloud services. Amazon has a whole business of having servers in the cloud, and they host and support and have apps and companies' websites and things like that. So excuse me. So they did this because they said they flagged dozens of pieces of violent content going back to November. So Amazon has kept their eye on it. Again, here we are, terms of service. When you sign up for web hosting for your website, for your company's website, you have to read that terms of service because it says if you do this, and this, or if you post content about this, and this, which is against our rules, we get the right to shut you down. So Parler is fighting back, saying, "Oh, you're suppressing free speech. You're putting me out of business." So, okay. So Parler is suing Amazon, saying that what they have done violates antitrust laws, which it doesn't. So then Amazon comes back in response and saying, well, they're protected under Section 230. Remember that whole talk about that, about protecting the tech companies from the content that is shown on the platform. So there's this back and forth. So Amazon said, we've been watching you, Parler. We just, we're pulling the plug now. We gave you rope, like we said earlier. We gave you rope, now you hung yourself. So now Parler's on saying, the CEO was on TV saying, oh, they're putting me out of business. They're suppressing the conservative voice, da-da-da-da-da. But you got people on there. I've seen some of the screenshots of people have taken screenshots of posts on Parler. The things they say over there, horrible stuff.
Threatening.
They string people up to
civil servants.
Yes, people in Congress, what they were going to do. All on Parler. So
they showed one woman saying, why do you think we bought these guns? I'm like, whoa.
Oh, we know why you bought them, deplorable. We know.
Yes, we know, you basket of deplorables. So here, Amazon is saying that their actions are not about suppressing speech or stifling viewpoints. It is not about a conspiracy to restrain trade. They're saying that Parler demonstrated unwillingness and inability to remove from the servers of Amazon Web Services content that threatens the public safety, such as inciting and planning the rape, torture, and assassination of named public officials and private citizens. Yes, that's what the content that people were posting, because they felt like, I'm on Parler, I get to say what I want and they can't stop me. But no. Parler's a business. They doing business with Amazon. Amazon says, you're using our web servers. You can't post this kind of content. We gave you warning and now we shut you down. So
if I were to say something of that nature, that I'm going to kill or I'm going to torture, do da, and I made a serious threat against somebody's life, why would I not expect somebody to do something about that?
Right.
I expect the men in black to come knocking at my door.
No, you expect the men
Because
in black to come
all,
knocking. They don't.
We're all sane people. Yeah, we're sane.
I was
They
like,
don't.
They don't.
So
they call it a knock and talk, friend.
That's
you do a knock and a talk.
Let me just have this conversation.
Yeah.
So now they are saying that because they put it out there on that platform, if they made that on a phone call, AT&T or whoever was running the phone line would have put a call into the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Any platform you used would have done something to curtail that, to do something about it. They're not just let you talk that and then sit back and wonder why stuff happened.
Right.
And no, you don't get to do that.
That's their mindset. That's their mindset. They thought because and this is what happened when Parler came out. And people were like, I'm leaving Facebook because Facebook suppressed my free speech. I'm going to Parler and join me over there. So I'm like, I'm not joining you over there. So I'm like, what's the deal with Parler? They get to say what they want to say freely, but they overstepped. They overstepped by trying to plan the torture, assassination of people, of members of Congress. You can't do that. You can't. You just can't say that because you think I'm on a conservative website or app that lets me say what I want. You still can't do that. You can't threaten the president on any place.
The moment you say, meet me on the corner of 15th and North Capitol, that's it. You've actually enacted a plan.
Yes.
You're not that you have enacted, and even if you were just talking about enacting a plan by specifically naming individuals with the action you're going to take against them, that's a threat. But the thing is, see, this is how you know these people are cowards. None of them will ever say, that's right. That's what we wanted to do. Well, no, it was taken out of context. Oh, shut up, you coward. That's not that they always backpedal because they're cowards. None of them will ever say, yeah, that's what the hell I meant. Was there a problem? Did I say? None of them will ever do that. They are complete cowards. So this is how they can be caught.
Mark said, that's why I never live stream from my kitchen when I'm making dinner.
Crime scene.
This is another piece in the puzzle of when I always say there's going to be some kind of clearinghouse or some kind of thing where content and information like this, because of the people think they have the free will to say whatever they want to say online and threaten people's lives in government, and we're going to do things to Biden and this and that. So you can't do that. So we're marching down the road to where I'm not saying censorship. I'm just saying that for the safety of the public people, things like that, when you're saying stuff, it's going to go through a filter, and it's going to be, I don't know if it's AI, I don't know who's going to do it, but it's going to be, okay, this content cannot be posted on social. It's going to go to the left instead of the right, or, whatever. And it's going to be filtered out, because that kind of content, you see what happens. You incite a riot, you start a coup, insurrection, sedition, all that. You get these people riled up, and they didn't show up with guns, or I don't know if they were going to or whatever, but what if they all showed up with guns talking about we getting in the Capitol and going to stop this
they didn't show
election
up with
vote?
guns. They showed up with guns, sweetie.
No, I mean, like every one of them. Like now they're saying like the second one they're doing, they're all coming with guns is what the second plan is. I've heard. Okay. So it had this kind of, we're walking the line between, okay, well, can that really be said by the president? So there was no checks and balances before is what I'm saying. So now there will be. I don't know what form, but we're heading down that road.
Pat has a comment here. She says they are not as honorable or at least honest as global terrorist groups that are not afraid to take credit for their deeds. Because
Right. That's what Tasha just said. They're cowards.
What they stand by their manifesto or whatever it is.
Right. See, foreign terrorists, they're like, we got a manifesto. We do this. We're going to that heaven. It has a name, I can't remember. But if you do this, you're honorable and you get to go to that place, and they stand by their conviction. These, like Tachi said, these people are cowards. They were like, yeah, we're going to go and do this and that.
And we are not condoning what they do, because that is deplorable as well. However, it's like if that's what you do, they at least stand by. Yes, we're going to take responsibility. We orchestrated the whole thing. These people never, because they have no kind. In addition to being despicable, they have no honor. So not that that's an honorable thing to do, but you know.
Right. Well, here's another comment from Mark. He says people need to be educated on the First Amendment as well as on civics. It says that Congress cannot make a law abridging free speech. Let's begin by forcing all presidential candidates to pass the citizenship test, and let's moderate it and make that a live stream.
Excellent talking idea. About what a lot of people are shocked. I'm not shocked, but a lot of people are shocked that they don't know the Constitution. They don't know what's in all of the amendments. They don't know
because these people don't go to school and
they don't pay attention. School. Yeah, they think they're going in and saving the day. They actually thought they were going in to save the day, and the basis of it, they were going to save him, the him who must not be named. They were going in to save him because the election was stolen and this was stolen, and he's the rightful president.
Okay, but they didn't even think that through, because just because you stormed up in there don't make it change.
You're asking for reasonable behavior from unreasonable individuals.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. That the mindset of some Americans, we knew
is different.
Right, but I saw Ta-Nehisi Coates was on CBS this week, sometime today. He said we been new. He said we know. He said we been new. We was waiting for y'all to catch up, and so that's why you see. We're shocked. We're like, we're
just like,
whatever. Another day. Here we go. Sip.
We
knew this. So you have a faction of America who is woken up from their slumber or whatever, or wherever they were in the Bachelor world, watching Bachelor. Okay, watching The Bachelor. What I'm not putting The Bachelor down. I'm just saying that kind of reality show.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. So welcome to America. And Donald Glover made a song about it.
This is America. Yes.
Go watch it. We been new. So that's all we're going to say about that. So let's move. We're going to move on to some more social media talk. Now, there's been a fallout with WhatsApp. Have you heard about that? What's going on with WhatsApp?
No, do tell, because somebody was asking me about WhatsApp.
All right. So let me get to it, because it's a curvy path. It's a curvy path. So I believe this is what happened. I think in India, there was some talk about, there was a legal challenge to WhatsApp in India because a petition was filed in the in high court over there over the upcoming change in the Facebook-owned app's data sharing policy. So this was the deal. They were saying that people in India had to accept some kind of alert that WhatsApp said users had to agree to new terms of service in conditions that grant the app the consent to share with Facebook some personal data about them, such as their phone number and location. And they were saying that the update or whatever in the app had to agree, the user had to agree to the terms by February 8th if they wish to continue using the app. So now, and also what came out of that was Elon Musk, which is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX and all that. He tweeted, and I wanted to show the tweet, but I think he tweeted, he said, use Signal.
Yes.
So
I saw that.
The thing about Signal is a messaging app that has a higher level of privacy than WhatsApp, and also Telegram. Those are the two. If you're concerned about privacy using these messages app, because I liked Telegram. I when I found out about WhatsApp about a few years ago that they were hacked by some Israeli hacking, I was like, I'm not doing anything with WhatsApp. But WhatsApp is popular in other countries because of the use of messaging without, incurring a lot of cost. So WhatsApp is popular. So Elon Musk jumps in and says, use Signal. So their downloads jump from like they were downloaded. Oh, here it is. They were downloaded 17.8 million users over the past 7 days, a 62-fold rise from the prior week because Elon Musk tweeted out, use Signal. And that was his call. So people was like, what's Signal? And they went over and found it. Also, people were like, what's Telegram? Telegram saw a rise in downloads due to this. So now Facebook's response was, oh, that's not what we're asking. We're asking business users to agree to that. So there was a whole like confusion about it. But if you're not reading between the lines, you're thinking that WhatsApp is asking for all of this data, which they didn't ask for before. You have to agree to it by this date, or so there's a privacy issue going on, and people are like, well, Facebook, WhatsApp, I'm not giving you all that information. I'm going to run the Signal and Telegram.
Well, here's the deal. If I go down that rabbit hole.
Go ahead.
I was thinking in order to have a business page, I got to have a private page, and they're linked together. So either way, you get my stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you, ladies?
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You only put out there what you want. You ain't got to put the real email. You don't have to put your real phone number.
With Signal and Telegram, it goes by phone number.
Yeah. Right, but email. Get a number that you don't mind giving somebody.
Use a Google voice number. That's what I was.
Be better, because I'm telling you that a lot of people from Mr. 45's group have moved to these things, just like other, private groups.
Mark has a comment, and then I got over here. I'm looking at Signal. Mark says, honestly, the idea of privacy these days amuses me. Does it really exist anywhere? I'm not. I'm not. We shouldn't be mindful. I'm so boring that Alexa doesn't listen to me even when I ask her to do so. Listen to me. Watch me. You'll surrender before I do.
Let me say something real quick about Signal, just a little background. They were founded in February 2018. The chief executive officer is, I had his name. But what it is an encrypted messaging app that's an alternative to WhatsApp. It's for sharing messages securely between users or groups rather than a public social network. As messages are sent on Signal or encrypted, they remain private, even if someone's phone is stolen or confiscated by the police.
Correct. And so Signal must have had a big boom because Signal is experiencing technical difficulties. We are working hard to restore service as quickly as possible. And that was 14 minutes ago on Twitter.
Yes.
Well, it could also be that the FBI is concerned because it's used by a lot of interesting groups. Go ahead.
I've heard that some of those in the ruckus was going to be using Telegram to do exactly too.
Right.
I was like, okay.
Tasha is so polite. She's got her hand up. What's up, Doc?
Let's hear it.
No, that's just like bewilderment for me. Well, there's two things, and like you said, and I hadn't even thought about the possibility that could be FBI interference. It quite possibly could be, but if it's because they were not prepared, you know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the same thing with these AMC theaters or whatever, you weren't prepared. I get it. You weren't prepared for Elon Musk to say, hey, join me on Signal, but you should be prepared.
Right.
You should be. I'm not giving you a pass because of ignorance. you know that this is something that could, privacy is a huge thing. In fact, the moment you saw Cambridge Analytica was a huge problem, that's when you should have been beefing up your arsenal. That's when you should have been doing it, knowing that at some point privacy could be an issue. And if it never happens, hey, but the point is you're prepared. What I don't like is all of a sudden things crashing on launch day after you told people, or in vernacular, you done told people to come over to your app, and then you're not prepared. I'm just bewildered.
Well, now Signal didn't tell. That was Elon Musk.
That was
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
They weren't prepared for the influx. They weren't prepared.
Right. They weren't prepared because Signal and Telegram are not on the radar of everyday Americans. It's been used by tech people and people who are concerned about their conversations being encrypted in private. So they were laying low, and Elon Musk was like, "Oh, hello, go over to Signal." And Signal was like, "Wait a minute, what? Yeah."
What Dr. Coffey is saying, they should have been prepared for
because but that would require them to be forward thinking, which they should have been. She's right.
What?
She's right. You need to be on a dime. But when Elon Musk is like, when he talks, it's like, people like, what?
Well, I mean, people are like, well, if he's over there, we might need to go over there because then, maybe we're safer over there, especially people who have an issue with privacy. Okay.
That's the deal. Signal and also Telegram. If you didn't know about them before this happened, they were sailing under the radar. Like, okay, we good over here. We, everything's steady. And then here comes Elon Musk throwing the grenade, like, come on over, which they should have been ready. But the average American they're not paying attention to apps and things like that. This is like knowing about Tor. Like, if you know about Tor, you know about Signal and Telegram, which is a whole nother undercurrent of what's going on. You have what's going on in the surface, and then you have these other private encrypted things going on that you have to seek out in order to know. Like, you have to be reading stuff about tech to know about Signal. It's like, I have a Signal account, I have a Telegram account. I wasn't using Signal, but I have it already. I had it because I was looking at WhatsApp way back when this Israeli hacking thing started. I think maybe 3 years, 2. I was like, I uninstalled, because they were saying that WhatsApp, they could hack through even if you weren't using the app, just because it was installed on your phone. And I was like, oh, I deleted it. Like, no, but everybody else likes it.
So here's the thing. There's two sides of all of this. There is the Facebook, Instagram, where you're talking to the entire world or whoever's listening over here. Then there's the one, if you just want to have some private conversation with particular friends or family, which is what I see Signal and what WhatsApp was supposed to be that, or what WhatsApp was before Facebook took over. And now it's social. The Signal and Telegram seem to be like the app that you would just use to have a conversation. Like, if I wanted to call TJ and just ask her a couple of things or whatever, I don't have the rest of the world's not going to know about that conversation.
Right. Think industries and businesses where they have conversations B2B with trade secrets or industry secrets, and they don't want that information to get out, especially if it's a new company, a startup or whatever. You want to protect your idea and you need to talk to venture capitalists and this and that. You wouldn't use WhatsApp for that. So that's what it is.
And you wouldn't use Messenger.
Right. You wouldn't use Messenger or WhatsApp, any public kind of, because there's levels to this. Like you're saying, on the public side of it, on the surface, there's Messenger and Snapchat. Those you're just talking to your friends, and you're like, yeah, okay, well, no, let's go meet for lunch. But then you have another level, like I said, with the dark web, the Tor, the secrecy, the encryption keys that, the Messenger apps, they hand each other encryption keys in order to open the message and things like that. That the average American is not, or the world is not using, unless they're in a privacy, cybersecurity area where they know about those tools. But they're there. You just have to reach out and Google and find them, and the information is there. But, like Tati said, a lot of lazy people. So,
and because the people that you want to communicate with, you're going to have to tell them to get on the app too.
yes, that's the other thing.
You know, like if we wanted to have a Biz Chicks group meeting and not be able to tell everybody else, I would have to invite you all to Signal or Telegram or something where you can have.
Right. And it's an easy setup, you know, it's by phone number. And, you know, if you've signed up for other apps, and you're right, the deterrent is, oh, here comes another app. Oh, I got to download another app. And so you have to decide, can you get somebody on that app? And then
maybe the people, if they don't want to be on the app, you wouldn't want to be talking to them anyway.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. I got one or two more. Now we're not gonna be all day because we will talk about this all day because it's an interesting topic. Real quick, LinkedIn adds a swipe up link to LinkedIn stories. They have the capacity to add links into your stories. It's not available to everyone right now, but it's coming. So if you've used LinkedIn stories, I've been kind of disappointed with LinkedIn stories. I was kind of excited when they got it, but now I'm like, they don't have any function and features that you want to use. Like, yeah, it's not. So they're adding this see more prompt, and it links to a URL, and here's the key: the swipe up feature is only available to LinkedIn pages or individual members who have at least 5,000 connections or followers. So
here we go.
There you go. All right. So the last one is TikTok. We haven't had a lot of stuff about TikTok. TikTok's in trouble.
Oh, no.
They were in trouble with the under 16s. There was some privacy issues. So now TikTok will make under 16, the 16-year-old accounts private by default to protect them from groomers. So they're doing, so the TikTok, when you sign up, say you're 13, you sign up for TikTok, you're going to be in a special area where, let's say, the predators, the older adults who pray and look for children, they won't be able to message you or do side-by-side videos, all the cute things that they do in TikTok. So basically, it's like a little subsection room in TikTok for the under 16s where they can play and not worry about wolves coming to get them online. So also if you're in the over 16, you can't download under 16's videos or use them as a part of the duet and stitch. Those are some of the features when you see the side by side and they do the duet, they can't do that if they're under 16. So they're doing that. Also, friends of users age 13 to 15 can comment on the videos. Users ages 16 to 18 will also default to only friends being able to comment and use videos for the duet and the stitching together. So they have new privacy rules for users under the age of 18. So
that's good.
That's good, right? So 13 to 15 will have their account set to private by default. As soon as they sign up, boom, it's private, and only their friends of appropriate ages can message them and do videos and stuff with them.
You know, if I could just add, I think this is really important, and this needs to be across apps that younger users tend to use, whether it's Triller or Snapchat. Still, some use Snapchat, not a whole lot, but still some do. But whatever app they're using, I think the privacy thing is key, very important. And one thing that I actually just, for my chapter of Delta, we did a human trafficking awareness live stream earlier last week, and I was the moderator for it as well as running the tech. So this is one of the hotspots for human trafficking because especially Super Bowl, one of the biggest events. And we had a woman on from an organization called Katalehe House, where they the woman, her and her husband, they started it because their daughter was trafficked, and she was a teenager. She was 17. She said he was really smart, came around and was all nice at first, and started grooming her at 17. So as soon as she turned 18, that's when he started tricking her out. And she couldn't leave. And so a lot of these things that she made mention of, you have to watch the apps that your children are on. And she had like a whole list of 20 something apps to watch out for on the kid's phone. And she something which I didn't know, that she said if you notice that your child has 2 calculator apps on the phone, one of the other calculator apps is like kind of like an encrypted message thing. And so you need to watch out. I said, I was blown. So it's really important if you have children, under the age of 18, or even if they are like still young, whether they're 18 or not, just to watch out and see what it is they're doing. Who the hell else do you need to speak to beyond people you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to be on top of it. You have to know. And this is what I tell my daughter. I'm like, that phone belongs to us. So
damn Skippy.
I pay the bill.
Right.
I get to see what's on it. And I'm like, my fingerprint thing is on it because she has the older phone. I know the passcode. I know this. I'm like, anytime I want to look at that phone, like, hand me the phone. Let me see what's going on. So this is a good thing. This is a move that other apps need to take reign with. Now YouTube has the YouTube for kids, but they're trying to get, but again, you got to put the kids on it. You can't let them go to the YouTube that everybody's on. You got to say, hey, as the parent, you sign up for YouTube Kids, or you sign up for Instagram Kids, or you sign up for TikTok, which already has the age limits in it. So that's what you have to do as the parent. You just can't hand them the phone and say, here you go. It's like handing them something dangerous.
And like YouTube, when you uploading the video, they make you answer the question. Is this for children? Yes. Does this have anything to do with kids? Because you're not doing it.
Okay, so one last thing. The New York Times says that according to the company's data, that they have more than a third of TikTok's 49 million daily users in the U.S. were 14 and younger. So more than a third daily users. So that's what's going on, and that's what's going on. That's what happened this week in social media news.
Wow, that's a lot.
And this was kind of interesting. So, Dr. Tachi, what is going on in media?
Wow. Well, so much more than last week. Last week we were inundated with the coup, and so mostly everything was connected to the coup. Still a lot of coup talk, but there are other things that the media has their eyes on this week beyond that. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, how are you ladies? I didn't,
Well,
doing well.
Good.
Doing very well.
I'm feeling a little different, but go ahead.
You feeling what, Carolina? You feeling what? I didn't hear.
I'm feeling a little different.
Oh,
than I was last week, but okay, let's
go. Feeling a little different. Yeah, okay, differently. Good, different.
Okay.
So let's start off with some, cute light news. Most of what I have is cute and light. Betty White.
We need cute light. We need that.
Betty White is our national treasure. She is turning 99. She will be 99 in 2 days. Yes. Wow. Yeah, and she's still going strong. Yeah, I love Betty White because I'm a huge fan of the Golden Girls and everything that she's done. I mean, and she's been in the industry like forever. But have you noticed she's always like looked the same?
Yeah.
Like, and she looks the same now as she did when she was probably in her 30s. So it's interesting. I'm like, well, if you're going to look like that, at least you look consistent, throughout. So, oh my God. But so she's actually, they asked her, what is she going to do for her birthday? And she said, running a mile each morning has been curtailed by COVID, so I'm working on getting the Pet Set re-released. And if you don't know, that was a show that she actually created and hosted. Was it in the 70s or 60s? I don't remember, but it's called. Does anybody know?
No,
it is the 70s. Okay. It was 71. It was 71. So she created it and hosted it in 1971, and it was a weekly show. And so she's re-releasing it on digital platforms like DVD on February 23rd to celebrate its 50th anniversary.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah. So to be in the business for 50, and it doesn't really seem like 1971 was that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. so good for you, Betty White. Congrats. We love you. I think you're just awesome. And yeah, more, another 100 years for you.
Yay.
All right, let's keep going on. So I'm not sure if you all know about this, but yeah, you probably do. You know that Insecure is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, mine too.
Yes, and so you then know that Insecure is ending with season 5 on HBO.
Sad.
They got an order for a season 5. This is going to be their last and final season. Critically acclaimed. Issa Rae, who is the creator and stars in it, has received 2 Emmy nominations and 2 Golden Globe nominations, though she has not won yet. This better damn well be her year because it is stellar entertainment.
And just real quick, that remember Issa Rae started on YouTube, Awkward Black Girl. She was just
Awkward Black Girl. I was a stan back then.
She had a YouTube channel. That's how she started. YouTube.
I watched it, and I remember when she was doing it. And then Pharrell has, some entertainment channels on YouTube, and so she got acquired by Pharrell. And then she was in talks with Shonda Rhimes at first, and she was supposed to have content on ABC. That didn't go through. Well, good, because Shonda Rhimes has since left ABC, so who knows where that would have left her. So this was actually a much better deal. This is a much better home for her.
She ended up in the right place. She ended up in the right place.
She ended up in the right place. So I know she's got. I read something else about what she has on tap.
A production company, right? She's got her own production company.
She does. Issa Rae Productions. She, when I was, I usually volunteer for the Atlanta Pitch Summit, and so the last time I volunteered, her company was there taking pitches.
Okay.
So yeah, she's got a production company, but she's got a development deal with someone, and I can't remember. I read it, and now I can't remember. But I'll go back and look. But I know that the star, Yvonne Orji, who plays her best friend, Molly, actually has a deal with Disney Plus. She has she got a deal with Disney Plus. She's had like a little, a YouTube show and some other things in development.
Didn't she have a comedy special somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. Some comedy stuff.
I wanted to watch. I forgot to watch.
Yeah, the comedy special was phenomenal. She's hilarious. I didn't even realize she was that great of a stand-up comedian, but she is awesome. So if you get a chance, please watch her stand-up comedy special. Phenomenal. And so she now has this deal. I think it's a first look deal with Disney Plus. So, and then she's also got this thing that they're going to greenlight. So, people have stuff going on. This has really been a springboard
and she has
for a lot of talent.
She has a podcast too about Jesus and Jollof.
Jesus and Jollof together with
what's her name? I forgot her name.
Lovey Ajayi.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Lovey Ajayi, they're really good friends. So they've got that. So, don't cry for them, Argentina. They've got some other stuff going on. And when you're in this field,
they got irons in the fire with the podcast and the first look. So that's what I'm saying. You got to do more than one thing. So
I'm trying to be like them. Why do you think I do 10 million things? Trying to be like them.
Irons in the fire.
I mean, but my irons are getting kind of hot and they're starting to melt. So I
gotta put mine.
Yeah, something to.
Yeah. All right.
No, that's okay. No, I love it. All right, so that's what's going on there. Good luck to everybody there. But I know I'm expecting great things from everybody. Yes. The cast. Natasha Rothwell, who's one of the writers, has already has deals and things going on.
Yeah.
So good for you all. Yay! I love you guys.
Yeah, we do.
Let's talk about, because we didn't talk about this before. And this was actually from last week, but we didn't get a chance to talk about this. Quibi, I had such high hopes for you as a standalone app, yet you disappointed each and every bloody time. However, it seems that some of the program will live on in infamy on a one Roku, because Roku has acquired Quibi's content. It may be dead, but the shows will live on. So last week, according to TechCrunch and the Wall Street Journal, they were in talks to acquire, and then it finally happened, the short form content. So they have indeed reached a deal, but they have not disclosed the terms nor the amount of the acquisition. But I'm sure that Jeffrey Katzenberg is just happy to be. I'll give a damn if you get $10,000.
He's going
whatever.
Brown.
Just take it home.
Take it and run.
Just take it. Look, you think you could give me $1 for eat? That's fine. I'm good. So I don't think he's going to be making too much, but because there was a lot of money on the line with the Quibi deal. So whatever they get for that,
a lot of money.
So here's the thing. It doesn't just include the shows that were previously available on Quibi, but also more than a dozen programs that were making their exclusive debut on the Roku channel. So there's going to be some exclusive programming as well. So let me say what Roku's Vice President Rob Holmes said in a statement. Today's announcement marks a rare opportunity to acquire compelling original content that features some of the biggest names in entertainment. Okay, well, if it was that compelling, it would, but I digress. We're excited to make this content available for our users on the Roku channel through an ad-supported model, and this is what I like. And this is probably what Quibi should have looked at in the first damn place. Nobody is going to pay. I don't care if it's $2.99. You were not going to get enough people to, keep using Quibi at cost. Even though they had racks of content. I told you we were able to review so many. We reviewed 16 shows, and there were still more to come. So, but it wasn't compelling enough for people to pay for it. So I think this is really what should have happened. They should have approached somebody. I'm sure Roku would have been amenable in the first place, but I think sometimes there are these egos that exist in Hollywood that you have to do this by yourself so that you get the credit. Well, sir and madam, where did that land you? So I think there needs to be more collaboration.
Yeah, you to collaborate. That's what I was saying.
And I was saying in the beginning that Quibi should have hooked up with an influencer, Jeffree Star, the Kylie Jenner, somebody like that already had a big audience.
You know what? They did do that with some of their programming. They had, in fact, I was just reading about why can't I remember? Boodram is her Shannon Boodram, who is a sex therapist, a licensed sex therapist and sexologist. She calls herself like where Dr. Ruth meets Rihanna.
Okay.
So really cool. She's really, she had a Quibi show. And so now all of that content is going to move to Roku. But she's a huge influencer in that world because she's young. She's like in her 20s and that type of thing. So she's a huge influencer. So they did try to hook up with some influencers, but I think the problem was they were also trying to keep it with the people they already knew. And Jeffrey Katzenberg is an old head from Hollywood. So they're trying to, let's get such and such to do this. All right. You're not paying attention to what's happening in vertical video, which is TikTok, right? Which is Snapchat, which are people that have influence. But short form. And these are people that, Gen Z knows, that Gen Alpha know. That's who they're going after. Okay. So I digress, but you are going to be able, if you were a fan of some Quibi shows, you will be able to see that and some new Quibi content on Roku. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Moving on, a few more pieces of morsels of media news. Let's talk about TV ratings. The Mandalorian, one of my favorite shows, has finally beaten Michael Scott and company in Nielsen's top 10, streaming top 10. So Michael Scott and company, by that I mean The Office. So, The Office is the most I'm pop culture references. So The Office is the most streamed show, I think, across platforms. The most streamed. Old episodes of it, obviously, and they were on Netflix, but I think now they have moved because it is, what was it? Was it on ABC or NBC?
It's
I don't
on
remember.
Peacock now with NBC. It was an NBC.
Right, so it was NBC. So that's exactly why they moved it. So it was on Netflix, moved all episodes to Peacock. So you could watch it over there. But The Mandalorian finally has trampled over The Office to become the most streamed.
You call it trampled over.
Trampled over them, just walked over the Jedis and the stormtroopers and everything. And the Mandalorians. Anyway, so I don't want to talk about the coup, but the coverage of the coup actually had garnered millions of YouTube views for TV networks. So this shows you that a lot of people are watching TV networks, not necessarily just on the TV networks, but they are accessing them through YouTube, through social media. So it's interesting when we look at that, where people are getting their content from, and that should really be a signal to news stations. And the thing is, now that you have that, how are you going to keep that? I think that's the thing. Or do you care about keeping that? Because in the past, news stations have not really cared very much about that, and they've cared more about the linear television. And I get it, because advertising, and your advertisers, most advertising is still done on traditional linear television. But let me just say that there are crops of individuals who are no longer watching traditional television and are not watching what you do, certainly. But those are the people that you're going to need to get eyes from, because older people are not going to be around forever, right? Everybody expires. So you
not only that, older people are cutting the cord because their kids are coming in here and say, "Why are you still paying for this?"
Yeah.
No, I said, I was like, why are you still paying for cable? Will you get yourself a Roku box?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what my
get yourself a Roku box.
She got Roku.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get, because the thing is, you're used to this. You don't want to learn a new system. I get it. And that's not even just older people. That's anybody. You're like, I don't feel like being done. But at some point, that $200, almost $200 bill starts to say to you,
let me reconsider this. Yes.
Exactly. So, I think those are the things that news stations are going to have to look at, the future of this. You can't just regurgitate what you do on linear on YouTube. You need to make it specific for YouTube. You need to follow the rules of what's happened there. Any jet can just plop things up there. But are you actually answering back people in the chat section? Are you, if you're doing it live, are you looking at comments and responding later? Are you doing putting in prompts for people to actually engage with you? The key is engagement. News stations have not been very good at that. It's been one-way communication of, I say this, you listen, we all go on our merry way. People don't want that anymore. People are used to interaction, and news stations, you are going to be obsolete if you don't realize this. So you cannot just take your YouTube channel and regurgitate what you do on linear. Now you need to actually have some content that is interactive and that speaks to this new generation. Just saying, everything can't be about the short run of your advertising dollars, because in the long run, you're going to lose viewers. Just saying.
Right.
Who am I? Let's see. Almost finished here.
Right.
I'm sorry. What were you saying? I didn't want to.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So you know that I have been covering the CES show. Yes. For the Consumer Electronics Show. And it has been so interesting. It ended, was it yesterday? Wednesday. No, Wednesday was the last day. And so really interesting, great stuff that has come up in consumer electronics. I geeked out because this was actually my first time attending CES, because it competes with NAB in April for me. And I can't keep paying to go out. Nobody is buying my way, so I can't keep paying to go to Vegas. Yes, until I get a sponsorship. Look, I will go to whoever wants to sponsor, I will go to every single conference that ever was, no problem. But until that day, I am picking carefully where I go. And because NAB is more media focused, I always left off CES in lieu of this. But this was just phenomenal. Great stuff. So this is something cool that I saw that came out of this. LG came up with a transparent LED TV that acts as like a social distancing partition.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting because holographs are not really mainstream yet, even though they've been around for donkey's years. They're not really mainstream. But LG, and this is from LG, they think they have found a more realistic way of bringing floating images into the real world. And so they've been actually presenting OLED display cases, or OLED, however you want to say it, within several of their applications. And so the newest concepts premiered this week at the CES show. So this is another thing they debuted, a smart bed. The smart bed comes with this. So it's a smart bed with the see-through 55-inch OLED screen that goes from the foot of the bed all the way up at the push of a button. And the display is 40% transparent, which allows you to peer through and see to the other side and see visuals as well. It's also flexible. It can cast content in different directions. So it's actually pretty amazing. So this is something new in terms of media and television that came up at and why is this happening? So obviously the overwhelming themes you saw this year: privacy and security, right? And by also safety. People who never looked at masks before are now looking at things like masks and air purifiers because of so those were big themes as well, things that were personal safety, cleanliness, and cleaning. I attended one meeting, and this was Kohler. So, they do bathroom and kitchen and the faucets and all of that. So they had like 3 things that they were talking about. And cleanliness was the big thing. And cleanliness overall, but especially because of the pandemic. So those were huge themes that you saw there. And then the fact smart home, because we're spending more time at home. So things that are smart home, retrofitting offices for the home, entertainment for the home, like this new TV. So, I mean, it's just, I have to find a way. I will be reporting every year because this was just phenomenal. I really loved it. So, and then finally, before we finish, I wanted to talk about Cosmo UK. They have a magazine cover. I don't know if you've seen it, but it has had mixed reviews by some. So it's a body positive magazine cover. And and I'm sure you've seen her. What is her name? She is a really popular yogini, I guess is but yoga instructor. And she's a Black woman. And she's
I know
exactly who I'm talking about. So she made the cover of February's Cosmo. But the thing is, it has raised questions for some people about possibly glamorizing obesity after they featured her on the cover. So it's dedicated, this particular issue of Cosmo UK is dedicated to body positivity. And it's her name is, let's see, it includes Morgan Lake, who is a track and field athlete, fitness, Sophie Butler, that's her name. Fitness influencer Sophie Butler, and plus size blogger Callie Thorpe. And there are they have 9 other covers that they unveiled for this. And obviously, I think it's fantastic. Most people probably think it's fantastic, but readers have mixed reviews, some praising the magazine for their portrayal of health, while others say that it sends out a dangerous message to the public. I think and this is my way of doing it. I think everybody is different. Every body type is different. Well, there are rail thin people who are the sickliest things you've ever come to know. So it's not just about size. What it boils down to is a westernized aesthetic of what is beautiful. And you and many people translate that into health. Beauty is healthy. Small is healthy, which is the farthest thing from the truth. Now that doesn't mean, exactly. It's not equivalent. So that does not mean that obviously obesity has been a problem in this country, but certainly growing in the UK. The reliance on packaged foods and
fast food.
And fast food.
China too, exactly. And that's a problem that never really had this, but the more reliance on this manufactured food has really led, and then, sedentary lifestyles has really led to this. So I do get that, and you do see that, absolutely. But we're not talking about people who sit on the couch and do nothing. We're talking about individuals that they're highlighting that are active, that eat well, etc. They just happen to be larger framed. So to equate that with ill health, I think is ill thought. But again, we live in a culture that has cultivated a Western concept of beautiful.
Yeah.
So I thought this was interesting to bring up because
it is. It's very
things, right?
Yeah, because beauty aesthetics are changing because every industry is going to change, is being hit by change, whether it's COVID led or just whatever. But people want to see themselves on the cover of magazines. People want to see themselves on TV. No longer will it be the fashion industry or whoever industry saying this is the look. Like this one person is the look. It's not like that anymore because we got social media. It's evolving us to where all types of people, all types of things. You want to talk about anything, you can do it now on any platform. There's no one stopping you. So before people were being held back, now they're not. So now they're speaking out, and a business have to give the people what they want. So if you want to sell magazines, you got to say, hey, how do we stand out right now where we're on the precipice of change and everything, and give people what they want and start a conversation and make things better? That's one way.
That is definitely one way.
One way.
Yeah. So that's what I have.
Nice.
Jill has a comment. I'm gonna put it up. She says, yes, we're seeing more real images in all types of advertising. And we need to see that.
We do.
And then Mark, go ahead. Mark said, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Read Mark's comment.
I'm going to read Mark's comment. Then you say, Mark says, I'm considered quite beautiful in Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, God of heavens.
Okay.
You're beautiful outside of Guantanamo Bay, too.
You are. And that's where you will remain, outside.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, so this is interesting because I think I told you all that I was part of a team that was working on building a course for university that deals with visual images. And one thing that I wrote about was the increasing use of virtual influencers, so basically avatars that are created because they can fit a company's aesthetic. They also, you don't have the problem with these avatars doing something stupid and then you have to pay for it later. Yeah. But here's the thing, and this is the thing, they have writers, these companies, there are actually digital influencer agencies that create these images. They create a backstory for who they are. They have script writers for all of this. But the thing is, it also calls into question, are they imposing their concepts of beauty on this? So when you look at these digital influencers, they basically they run the gamut. In fact, digital influencers are more diverse than actual influencers in real life. So there's more diversity there. But then you look at the fact of does that cut down on the opportunities for influencers of color, for LGBT influencers, for influencers that may be differently abled? Does that cut down on their opportunities because now you've created someone, and you've created someone in an image that you think is beautiful or aesthetically beautiful? I haven't seen any, and that doesn't mean they don't exist, but I haven't seen any digital influencers that are quote plus size.
Right. You haven't.
So that's a whole other kettle.
Yeah. So I mean, that's and speaking on that, a part of that is what Lizzo, the musician, the singer artist, what she's doing is she's trying to break that barrier. And you have pushback, and then you have people that saying that she shouldn't do this because of she's promoting obesity, blah blah blah. But things are changing. So I don't think it's going to stay this way. This is like you shaking it out, and then you're like, okay, we're going to sort it into where it needs to be, because an audience is going to follow what it wants to follow. Like I was saying about the cover, people buy things that reflect themselves. So you need to start doing that instead of being this one aesthetic of beauty or this one type of model, this one type of this. No, there's many, multicultural. So
exactly. So that's my story.
And you're sticking to it?
Yes.
I'm sticking to it.
All right, guys. We just want to thank you for coming in and sharing over here on Tech Life Weekly. Also, we want people to know where they can find you. So tell us about where to find you real quick before we go. Chachi,
Okay.
Chachi, we find you. Yes.
Okay.
Tell us about
so you can. Yeah, so I have a show called Mediascope, which will be back on January 27th. It's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Periscope for now, /Twitter, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and WJMSradio.com. I also do a pre-show at 5 p.m. on Instagram Live. I also am one half of the TV Twins for the TV Channeling podcast, where we talk about TV. We do TV reviews and talk TV, film, and entertainment news. Every single podcasting app that exists, you can find us on. Plus, you can listen to us live, WJMSradio.com, Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, or just go to our website, tvchanneling.com.
I love it. You're going to have to put that on a meme so we can put that up. TJ, we know we see you on Tuesdays, but tell us where we can find you again.
Well, you can find me everywhere. Terry Johnson Online. Google it. I'm there. Terry Johnson Online. Except for Twitter, I'm Web Girl TJ because that's my oldest account. So.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that, if you're looking to join Biz Chicks, text Biz to 33777. We'd love to have you be a part of our community and our group and follow our page. And also, we'd like you to subscribe over there on YouTube because we're new over there. But we look forward to more conversations with you, and we hope you'll join us Monday for Coffee, Tea, Thoughts, and Conversations with the Biz Chicks at 8 o'clock Pacific time. With that, we want to remind you to go to the front of your own line. Thank you again, ladies, and we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.